And you know what? Praying and taking deep breaths really do help in these situations. Hello again, LifeGate. I'm John Hunsberger, your pastor of marriage and parenting, here answering questions that weren't asked at our amazing parenting conference this year, 2021, with Dr. Emerson Eggerichs. The next question that I want to answer also came from multiple families, asked in multiple different ways, but basically it was, why does my child need to be told over and over again? Are they being defiant, or what's going on here? And I believe this comes from our experiences of our kids not doing what they're told, or not following orders or directions, and us getting frustrated as parents. And Dr. Emerson outlined that we need to decode what's going on. Are we being disrespected? Are our children being immature? Or do they feel unloved? And then our response can be better accounted for based off of what's happening in our child instead of what's happening in ourselves. But we need to know what's happening in ourselves, right? Are we feeling disrespected by our children's behavior? And absolutely. When they don't do what we're told, we feel very disrespected. But first, let's talk about, why is the child not doing what they're told? I have 4 boys, 10, 9, 6, and 4. And they always do what they're told, every single time. Wouldn't that be great? It's not the case, and I don't think for anyone. Here's the deal. Oftentimes, when a child feels unloved, then they don't feel connected. They feel disconnected, in fact, and sometimes they'll even give up on trying to obey your parents. And the reason they do that is because of a relationship. They don't feel like there's a relationship there. And so part of them not obeying doesn't come from just being told, hey, it's time for you to go get in the shower. It comes from either all day or maybe a week or perhaps even longer of them not feeling like they have a relationship with you, and they've just checked out. And so having a special time with your children is super important, and it has to be intentional. There seems like there's not enough hours in the day to do all the things you need to do at work, to do all the things you need to do to keep the home going, not to take care of the children, make sure they are fed and get their sleep and have clothes and their rooms are clean and all of those essential, necessary day-to-day things, and develop special time with them. And so you have to get creative, and you have to have that. Another thing that really helps for us to understand is that children, their prefrontal cortex is still developing. And that takes a long time, till they're well into adulthood. Average is about 25. Men are like 28 for their frontal lobe to fully develop. And that frontal lobe is their higher reasoning. It's their willpower, it's their self-control, it's their logic. And they need to be taught to have a stimulus that results in developing neural pathways that say, hey, rather than just having whatever I want whenever I want it, or instant gratification, I need to develop a delayed gratification that comes from understanding higher goals, right? Developing self-discipline. But that takes years and years to happen. And so for us to expect that they're going to understand, hey, taking a shower is important, it's a habit you need to get into, versus I want to stop doing what I'm doing to get in the shower, it's something that takes time, and we need to help them develop. But it doesn't necessarily mean it comes from disrespect. Another thing that's very important for us to understand is that screen time is detrimental to the prefrontal cortex, as well as the social developing and even obedience. And so if your child's on the computer, on a screen for 2 or 3 hours every single day, that's going to affect their ability even to obey when you've asked them to. So those are some things to keep in mind. Now, if they're not obeying, if they're not following through, and we've worked on some of those things, then I think we need to decode for ourselves what's happening in us. Because we're the adult, we're going to model what we want from them. And so we need to understand, hey, if they just constantly don't obey, I'm getting very frustrated. And so rather than just yelling at them and dragging them to the shower, which may need to happen so that we can get them in the shower, but understand that doesn't help them to connect those neural pathways. The same as if they realize, like, okay, I need to do this because I love my mom and I want a relationship with my dad, and that sort of thing, which is a far better goal. Then we need to calmly be in a place that we can not necessarily reason with our children, but behave properly ourselves. And so, are they really being disrespectful, or am I just feeling disrespected? Because it is disrespectful, but perhaps they feel unloved, or more likely, they're just immature. They wanted to go take the shower, or their intention was to go take the shower, but on their way, they remembered, oh, I'm supposed to take my shoes off. And they went to take their shoes off, but then on their way to the shoes, one of their brothers said, push them or something, and then, oh, now I've got to get even, and now we're building a puzzle, not in the shower, and we told them to go take a shower, right? What is going on? But their minds just don't work the same. And so understanding that, having forgiveness for them, but also acknowledging too, hey, that is disrespectful and I'm feeling disrespected. It's even okay to tell your kid, I'm feeling disrespected when you do that. In fact, I think it's a good thing. But it doesn't pay if you're feeling disrespected to act unloving or harsh. Because your child probably didn't intend on it, and even if they did, getting under your skin, that's also going to develop a neural pathway that says, hey, this is how I get my way. And so being calm, taking a minute, and you know what? Praying and taking deep breaths really do help in these situations. Okay, so that hopefully gives some reason why our kids have to be told over and over again, and hopefully empowers you to have a little more patience. One spiritual thing that maybe we should keep in mind is that patience is a fruit of the Spirit, meaning we need the Holy Spirit to have the amount of patience, not only for our kids, but in this world. And the other things that are come from the Spirit, love, joy, peace, kindness, goodness, faithfulness, gentleness, and self-control, are all things we ask God, who gives good gifts and much more the Holy Spirit to us, to have these fruits of His Holy Spirit. So ask Him for those things. He says if we ask Him for anything according to His will, He'll give it to us. And so trust that He will be faithful. All right, that's John Hunsberger signing out.